What's up, SE Nation? Welcome back to another YouTube video. My name is MZ Majaba, in case you didn't know me, and I am a sales engineer slash salesperson slash solution specialist slash other stuff. SE coach is one of them. Up in Canada, Ottawa, Canada, sunny Ottawa, Canada. You can't tell, but it's a little bit sunny. It's December, and we're still sunny, so it's good. I've done both jobs. So I've been a sales engineer and I've been an SE. Well, I guess that's the same thing. I've been a sales engineer, and since May of 2021, I've done the sales job reluctantly. And I've seen, as an SE, I've seen mistakes that salespeople do during a sales cycle. And I wanted to talk about that today. Now, next week, or whenever I post the next video, hopefully next week, I will be talking about the mistakes I see SEs do as salespeople. And the goal isn't to bash anybody, and although it's always fun to bash salespeople, the goal is to equip the sales engineer with the tools to solve these problems. Now, I have many notes that I've taken on my teeny weeny notebook here about the sales cycle and how salespeople make mistakes, and also sales engineers. So I'll be translating this. Don't worry, you won't have to read off of this. I will be translating this into something nicer here. And so let's break it down. I mean, when you talk about a sales cycle, it always starts with a lead. The lead has to come from somewhere. So a lead comes from somewhere. If you're interested in how leads come in, we can have that discussion, and it goes into qualification mode. So many companies have SDRs that do the qualification. Some companies don't, and the account manager has to do it. And mistake number one is number one that I see is the AE, the account executive, actually invites the SE to do the qualification with them to this call. That's not part of the SE's job. We can help. I do love Miro. We can help, but we do not need to be there. We should not be there. We should not have to be there. And that's the job of the SDR and the AE. So when we're talking about qualification, there's you have BANT, you have MEDIT. People make fun of me for saying MEDIC. You have MEDPIC. So all these, the account manager has to take care of. A lot of times I've seen SEs fly across countries, or I've heard of SEs fly across country, only to have an unqualified deal. They're going to do a demo. They've never been qualified. It's not actually a demo. It's a qualification call, and it wasn't qualified. So that's one mistake. Another mistake that I see AEs do is they bypass all of that. They don't do any qualification, anything like that, and they immediately send quote. Quote for what? Sometimes customers say, hey, we want a quote for this, but they don't know what this is. They haven't discussed any of that. So they just send this along expecting to close the deal. And because they haven't done any qualification, they don't know if it's a good deal, which means the AE ends up wasting time following up on these deals instead of actually working on good deals. How does that affect the SE? Quota. If the AE is wasting time following up on dead deals, they're not spending time on good deals, and they're supposed to be closing that. So these are two mistakes that I see right away from early on in the sales cycle. I've been trying to drink coffee for a bit. By the way, this is Miro. I'm not related to them or anything. I just love using them. I use their whiteboard. They do a lot of other stuff. I just haven't used it. I use it mainly for whiteboard. So I'm not being paid to say that. All right, let's move on. So after the qualification, you generally have a discovery, and then you get into selling. You get into the selling motion. Selling. Every meeting is selling, but there's a stage that I've like, if you look at solution selling or anything like that, there's a stage called selling. This usually includes like presentations, includes demos, includes POCs or POVs, whatever you want to call them. And then at the end, you get into like, proposal and that sort of thing. So what I've seen, like error number 3, here, let's change colors. What I've seen is like AE go from a qualification meeting. So this is error number 3. Go straight into either a demo or go to a POV. And what I mean by that is the customer during the qualification call says, "Hey, can I get some demo licenses to try it out?" That's not even English. Can I get some demo licenses to try it out? Whatever the product is. And the AE's response is, "Why not? Here you go. Try these out." And then, POV, that's why I say POVs is where deals go to die. But even worse, like they could go into a demo. At least when they do a POV, you're not wasting the SE's time because the SE is not involved at this point. But if you go into a demo, now the SE has no idea what they're demoing, so it ends up being a waste of time for the SE. So I like this even less. All right, let's do number 4. Let's see. This color looks nice. Number 4 is kind of similar, but it goes from discovery. So AE does discovery, does not include the SE, and then goes into POV. Right? So it's a little bit more information, but still not enough, and the SE has not been involved. Right? So this is number 4. So far we have 1. AE invites the SE early into the qualification call without having done BANT or MEDIT or anything like that, and they do it on the call with the SE. Another one is the AE, after the qualification call, sends the quote. So they even skip the selling motion. They just go straight into proposal. Number 3 is the AE goes into the qualification and goes straight into demo or POV. Number 4, AE goes into discovery and then goes to POV. Number 5 is AE does not involve SE in discovery. So they basically get involved at the demo stage. And number 6, which is the opposite. So I know you can't see it here, but generally speaking, towards the end, there is a proposal aspect of sales engineering. So here, let's do this. Proposal. So I would say mistake number 6 is AE does not involve SE in proposal. So the SE doesn't have to be in front of the customer doing the proposal, but the AE and the SE have to work on the proposal together, in my humble opinion, because the SE knows exactly what's going into the bill of material, why they're proposing certain technology over another, what's the value of that, and the SE can translate that to the AE so that when the AE has a discussion with their customers, they can talk about that. Some SEs are in the meeting room. Like I've been in meeting rooms when we're doing the proposal. So when the customer asks a question, I jump in and answer it directly. You can't even see this. So, but SEs are involved in like proposal defense. So like we can provide information how to propose. All right. Let's erase all this for now. Delete. And let me bring myself back down here towards the edge. So some other mistakes, again, going back to like an SDR. An SDR brings in the they go into the, So a lead comes in and it skips everything, goes straight into demo. And how does that happen? Well, so a lead comes in, an SDR is here. They contact the customer. So customer, they try to do BANT. Customer requests a demo. SDR doesn't have the experience or knowledge to actually say no, we can't do a demo. So they set up a call for a demo, and that's the most useless demo because the SE doesn't know anything about the customer at that point. Okay. So why does this happen? There are several reasons why this, for example, happens. One, I just mentioned the SDR doesn't have experience. The product could be very simple, that it's not needed. Even if you do a discovery, you're still going to show the same thing during the demo, at which point an SE is not needed. A salesperson or an SDR can do the job, or even a recording, or you can use like something like Consensus, something like Salio, something Navtech, Walnut. There's a bunch of software out there. Snackwise, a bunch of software out there. So another reason is the customer is really pushy and they want what they want, and the SDR, the salesperson, don't know how to handle it and don't know how to say no. One of the greatest skills we have to learn is to say no. So they don't know any better. Sometimes the salesperson is just excited for the sale. Like let's say I've been trying to break into this large organization for a few years now, and they finally come to me and say, Ramsey, I want to see this. So instead of me saying like why or how is it going to be helpful, I just say, yes, sir, let's do it. Or like, yes, ma'am, let's just jump in and do whatever it is that you want because you're a big client, you're a big whale, and I will do whatever it takes to land you, including doing a disservice to you because that's what you wanted. Sometimes salespeople are control freaks and they like to play everything close to the vest. And if that's the case, you might want to look at why this is happening. Is it because they've had a bad experience with an SE before? Is it because the SE that they're working with today is not doing a great job, so they're playing it tight to the vest? What's happened in the past and what can you do in the future to actually resolve it? So yeah, how do you fix this situation? Let me change views here. So how do you fix the situation? Well, one, you need to learn to say no. So one of the things that we talked about was going straight from like being invited to a qualification call. If you're an SE being invited to a qualification call, your job is then to qualify the account manager. The problem is they don't tell you it's a qualification call. They tell you like, hey, we have to do a discovery with this customer. Great. Now it's your turn to qualify the deal with the account manager. When is it they're looking to buy? What is it that they have? What's pushing them to get to do this right now? All these questions you can ask the salesperson, and if they don't know the answer to those questions, and you are busy, you say, "Go get me those answers before you get me involved." If you're not busy, it's an opportunity for you to learn. It's an opportunity for you to actually go see some stuff in action. And you can tell the salesperson, like, hey, generally speaking, I would need this information before we jump on the call. But because I want to do you a favor, or like because I have time, let's do it together. So that's one aspect. If a SE, if a salesperson goes straight from qualification or discovery to POV, your response is no. I don't even know what to POV. Like, we don't have a POV plan. We don't have any information. We don't know if they're going to buy. We don't know what to show them. So the answer is no, and you can do a qualification and discovery on the salesperson. And the point isn't just to get more information. The point sometimes is to highlight that you don't know anything about what the customer needs and wants. So how about you just go back and get me that information? And practice selling this to the customer. I had a situation. I had a client where they were doing demo on a daily basis for unqualified deals, and my client was getting frustrated. Why is this happening, and how can we fix it? We're not closing any deals. he's feeling bad because he's doing demos that are leading to a loss, and his demos aren't great because he has no information about what the customer wants to see. And we kind of got into the conversation, and I coached him through talking to his salesperson, where they end up talking about, are we in the business of doing demos or closing deals? Because it depends on what you want, Mr. Salesperson. If you want to do if we're in the business of doing demos, I'm happy to do whatever you want. But if you want to close deals, then we need to do this ahead of time. Can we experiment? It doesn't always have to be, we have to follow this process. This is the process that I know I need to follow. We can always experiment. We can try different things. So these are the things that I would say. These are the mistakes. Some, like, not every mistake, obviously, but some of the mistakes that I see AEs do that affect the sales engineer negatively in the sales cycle. It affects the salesperson negatively in the sales cycle as well. So it's in our best interest to actually help them out and help them figure out how to do a better job in terms of doing the discovery, inviting the salesperson, the SE, in the right time, pushing back on the SDR if they have to. So, yeah, if you like this, make sure you share, like, and subscribe. If you found that it adds value to you and you don't want to miss the next video, again, like the video. It helps the algorithm, helps you stay aware of what's going on. So yeah, that's it for me. Get back to work. Peace.